So the question is, how ultimately should companies or brands or marketers respond to feedback and particularly complaints on message boards or through social media channels? And I'm going to give you about 10 different points or 10 different ideas in terms of what you should be doing. The first thing is, don't be defensive. If you're going to respond, don't come across immediately on the back foot. And also don't be rote, don't be predictable. Thank you for your comment. That's very valuable to us. Keep it real. Be honest. Be open. Be authentic. Be able to engage that person. I've always said that every single person, no matter how angry they are, and no matter how bitter they might appear to be, deserves a response. Even if they come at you with expletives. Some people just talk that way. In fact, most people talk that way. Unfortunately, when we go to market, we forget that. But irrespective, if they're coming at you and they're angry, you can turn them around, dignify them and give them the respect, as long as they're not too personal, to give them a response. If they then still come back with the same fire, that's maybe an opportunity to move on. Another thing that I talk about is this acronym that I coined called Better Be Safe Than Sorry, which stands for satisfy curiosity, address concerns, the F stands for preventing festering, and finally the E stands for the worst thing that can happen to you, which is escalation. Dave Carroll and United Breaks Guitars. The ability to realize that the longer you take to respond, and it's not just about the length of time, it's how adequately or how comprehensively, how substantially you actually do respond and solve their problems or satisfy their concerns. The longer that takes place, the worse it's going to be for you. The more likely that complaint will move from the private to the public domain. In Flip the Funnel, and you should have a copy of Flip the Funnel in front of you, I've outlined the 10 new rules for customer service, where this is not your grandfather's customer service anymore. This is the ability to engage and to solve problems and to satisfy complaints or criticism in real time, effectively, authentically, credibly, and more importantly, powerfully, in terms of being able to turn lemons into lemonade. One final thought about responding. Recently with Steve Slater and JetBlue, JetBlue remained very conspicuously quiet on the sidelines, which in of itself was an interesting question because they'd done so well to establish themselves as open and accessible and able to engage in direct conversation and real dialogue. But I think the ultimate state, it may be utopian, it may be Shangri-Larian, if you will, is to let the community respond on your behalf. And that is in of itself, and when you put together your social media policy and guidelines, you need to think about how moderators and power users and advocates can be harnessed naturally and authentically on your behalves to be able to solve problems and address those complainers head on. Because when one consumer engages with another consumer, there is no wrong answer. There is no bad outcome. And that is the state that you need to strive towards. You may never get there, but it certainly is admirable and something worth being able to focus on and achieve.